Welcome to the University of Denver. My name is Bob Coombe. I have the great honor of being chancellor at this wonderful university, and we are delighted to have all of you on our campus today for this major announcement regarding international education, which is something that we at DU have been invested in for many, many, many years now. We are working hard here to become a great international university for this great, great city of ours. And we do so through lots of programs, through the Joseph Corbell School and the like. But principal among all of these efforts is the presence of international students on our campus and scholars as well. Every year, we have more than 1,000 international students at DU, several hundred international scholars that come to visit us as well. And their presence here enriches all of us in so many different ways. It raises the bar on the intellectual climate for the entire university. A truly wonderful thing for us at DU, but for the city as well and for the state of Colorado. Today, Lieutenant Governor Garcia will announce a new initiative called StudyColorado, which is intended to increase the number of international students coming to Denver. It's a partnership between all of the higher ed institutions in the state and the governor's office, state government in general, but most importantly, the business community as well. And the idea is for all of us together to become a much, much bigger magnet for the sort of talent that is out there across the world. Try to draw those people to Colorado so that all of us in the state can enjoy the benefits of the sort that I was just speaking about here at DU. It's my pleasure now to introduce to you Lieutenant Governor Joe Garcia, who is a good friend and a great friend of higher education in this state. We are fortunate indeed that the second in command in Colorado is a person who has served in many capacities in higher ed, as president of Pikes Peak Community College and then as president of Colorado State University Pueblo. And now he is really the point person for higher education in Colorado. Please welcome Lieutenant Governor Joe Garcia.
Thank you all. I really want to thank Dr. Coombe and DU for hosting this. And DU has been such a consistent leader in higher education, especially when it comes to reaching out to international and global communities. So I really appreciate that. I also want to specifically acknowledge and thank Inta Morris. Inta, wave your hand over there. She is one of the senior staff members at the Colorado Department of Higher Education. She's our senior director for grants and strategic initiatives. And it was her commitment, really, and personal passion to inspiring greater international cooperation and getting StudyColorado off the ground. As she told me, this is not a new idea. People have talked about this for years, but no one really ever picked it up and said, let's make it happen, until she got involved, and she's really made this happen, and I really appreciate that. And I also want to thank Ken Lund. He's not here with us, but he's the executive director of the Governor's Office of Economic Development and International Trade. He's really been focused on driving economic growth in this state and recognizes that bringing international students is key to bringing international businesses. And so he's really worked hard with us to make sure that we have a strong partnership with the business community. And then Dr. Coombe mentioned that this is a joint effort of all of the institutions of higher education in this state, all of which benefit by bringing international students to their respective campuses. Some have more limited resources to do that than others, and this is an effort where all have contributed, all are participating, all have made financial commitments to help us market Colorado as a destination with quality higher education institutions. And so I want to mention specifically University of Colorado, Colorado State University, the Colorado School of Mines, the University of Denver, the state colleges, and the community college system, all of whom, again, bring international students to their campuses. And we've worked with organizations to help get this StudyColorado up and running, including the Institute of International Education, the World Trade Center, and the Department of Commerce's local Export Assistance Office. Now, all of you know that Governor Hickenlooper, since the day he was elected, has been very focused on rebuilding Colorado's economy and doing it in a bottom-up, collaborative way. He wants all of Colorado's citizens, all of Colorado communities, all Colorado institutions to be involved in helping us to have the kind of sustainable economy that we want while preserving those qualities that make Colorado a special place, a place we all want to live. He is now today has signed the executive order that will help us attract more international students because, again, he recognizes the value of bringing that international presence to Colorado institutions. So this executive order creates a unique partnership between the state institutions of higher education and the business community. We know that even with the challenges higher education faces in the United States right now and the particular challenges we face in Colorado, that U.S. higher education is still the gold standard internationally. The U.S. is still the place where international students want to come, where international parents want to send their kids. They know that they can get a quality education here in the U.S. But too often they don't look beyond the coast, and too often they don't look beyond those institutions that have international reputations, the Harvard, MIT, Stanford, Berkeley. Yet all of you know that we have world-class institutions right here in Colorado. But first we have to figure out how to market Colorado, how to make people aware that Colorado exists, that it's a desirable place to study and to live, and that they should come and look at our institutions. Now, why do we want more international students here? We know they benefit our communities and our state, not just by the additional tuition dollars they bring to our institutions or the dollars they bring to the communities in which they reside, but because they enrich the educational experience for all of our students. They help Colorado students learn to compete and to participate fully in a global economy. And I hate to say it's been over 30, 35 years since I was an undergraduate engineering student at CU Boulder. My roommate was a Nigerian who was coming to the United States for his first time, also an engineering student, sent and financed by his country's government to come and learn at what was and is one of the best engineering institutions in the country. Arizachukwu Onakwuzi, I still remember his name, a member of the Igbo tribe in Nigeria. And having him as my roommate, he not only helped me better understand the math and computer skills I needed to be an engineering student, and I did need help, but he really inspired me to learn more about African music, Nigerian music specifically, to read books about Nigerian culture and history by Nigerian authors like Chinua Achebe, and to do my own research into what happened in the Biafran-Nigerian conflict that most of you are too young to recall. But he really helped me gain a global appreciation for a country I knew nothing about. And my oldest son now is visiting me briefly from China, where he's resided since graduating from Colorado College. Not knowing a word of Chinese, but now speaking and writing fluent Mandarin. Brought his Chinese girlfriend with him. I don't know if we'll ever get him back here permanently. But again, that's just two examples of how we benefit, how our students benefit from the presence of international students in our institutions. StudyColorado, to the extent it helps us bring more international students to Colorado, really is a win for all of Colorado, not just the institutions at which they land. We know that the 7,700 international students who currently study in Colorado generate about $235 million in annual economic impact. About $160 million of that is simply in tuition and fee dollars, but then think about what they spend in our communities to live, to eat, to do all the things that our college students do. And importantly, they often bring family members to visit. And we also know that international students, once they graduate, even if they leave Colorado, often come back, again with family members, or often they choose to stay here and use the intellectual skills that they've acquired and honed at our institutions, and again, making Colorado a stronger place. How are we going to do this? Well, each of the institutions has contributed some money to this effort, And that money will be used not to hire any new people within the Department of Higher Education where StudyColorado will be housed. Instead, this will be yet another duty as assigned to INTA. But we intend to use the internet and social networking and all the things that not just our students but international students rely on when they're learning about another country and other study opportunities. We also are going to be providing written materials that we will use with our ambassadors, our business ambassadors, as they travel to other countries so that they can also promote Colorado as a higher education destination. We know, again, that we have great things to sell here in this country, and we know that of the hundreds of thousands of international students who currently come to the U.S. to study, that more and more of them will, in the future, decide to pursue their higher education here in Colorado. I'd like to introduce you to two of our international students, two, again, outstanding examples of the kind of talent that we can attract to Colorado. And I would encourage those of you with the media or others to talk to these students after this press conference. You'll find, as I did, that they are very impressive young people. And I first want to mention Saif Al-Jabouri. I'm going to massacre their names. But Saif is getting his master's in electrical engineering and plans to continue his studies for a PhD in bioengineering. He just became first author on a paper that describes research into mapping the brain to create a map similar to a circuit board with a purpose to learn more about how to heal medical and psychological issues. In my few minutes talking to him, I could tell he was passionate about this and that he really felt that through this effort, he could create opportunities for people who are currently physically impaired, who have intellectual ability but have lost the ability to control their bodies. This is amazing research. And then Xiuan Riao from China, who's studying on the Denver campus and working toward a bachelor's degree in economics in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. And it was told me that she wants to also pursue graduate studies and that she's decided that she wants to pursue those as well here in Colorado because she has found it such a hospitable and welcoming place, as well as a state that has high-quality academic institutions. So they're fine examples, again, of the rich talent available to the people of Colorado when we extend our reach around the world. And with that, I'd like to introduce two individuals with unique perspectives on StudyColorado, two individuals who are going to help us to ensure that this effort is successful. And we'll start with Barry Hirschfeld, President and CEO of Asia Investment Partners. He's been instrumental in leading the governor's Trade and Tourism Ambassador Program. And Barry knows firsthand about the impact of cross-cultural ties as the leaders of Colorado's marketing efforts in Japan. It's in part due to his enthusiasm for international trade and student exchange that StudyColorado has now such a firm footing within the business community. And then following Barry, we have a special guest from Washington, D.C. here to talk about StudyColorado from a national viewpoint. And that's Marty Bennett with the Institute of International Education, and he works as the outreach coordinator for the State Department-supported Education USA Student Advising Network. So let's start with Barry. Thank you all for being here. All right.
I think you took all my bullet points. But seriously, it's great to be here with all of you. I'm representing the business community today, and it's funny, when we started this program at the beginning of the Hickenlooper administration, I was backstage with Al White. I don't know if he's somewhere. There he is. And Al comes up to me and says, you know, we got to do more about international students. We were talking about our new TTAP program, and I looked at him with this funny look, like, Al, what are you talking about? And little did I know how important this program was going to be. And as we put our group together, the TTAP program has 3 groups, Japan, Mexico, and Canada. We all broke off into our little sections. These are all a group of dedicated Coloradans. We've lived abroad. I've lived in Japan and Mexico for half my life. People like that for Japan, Mexico, and Canada, all broken into our groups. And for some reason, this international student idea just kept coming up. Let's bring more international students to Colorado. So we started looking at this, and I started doing some research and found out that there was someone named Inta Morris, at the Colorado Department of Higher Education that had been working on a program like this for years and was very passionate about it. So we talked and decided to partner up. So TTAP is housed in the Office of Economic Development and International Trade, OEDIT, that is headed by Ken Lund, and we persuaded Ken to let us reach out and try to partner with the Department of Higher Education to put this program together. And you know, it's amazing to see the economic development opportunities here, and I think, Lieutenant Governor, you really hit on it. You have 7,000 plus students in Colorado right now, even without a program like this, generating over $200 million in economic impact. And that's quite compelling. And you know, when I look at it as a business person, you've got instant tourism. You have people, they come over here, and it's not just a few days for a weekend, which is great, but it's very sticky tourism. They're here, they bring their families, and they're more likely to then go back to their countries and come back in the future, set up businesses, buy our products. I couldn't think of better ambassadors for us. So anyway, I just would like to thank the Department of Education for really supporting this. It's really been made possible as a partnership. I think it's very unique, a partnership between the state, business, and higher education to create a program that can really help our educational system and also improve our economy. So thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Marty Bennett, and many thanks to the organizers of this auspicious kickoff event for what promises to be motivated and well-supported state consortia for international education purposes. Before I had the luxury of moving to my current position with the Institute of International Education, I had the distinct honor of serving on one of the earliest state groups, Destination Indiana, that formed in 2002. Our focus then, much like StudyColorado's today, centered on how, as a collective group of very diverse institutions, that had a shared desire to establish and expand our state's status as a premier destination for international students. It was how we could work together to achieve our common goal. And in an era of reduced budgets for U.S. institutions and in facing increased competition globally for international students, many, particularly in the last 4 years, many colleges found their positions internationally eroded, leading to decreases in their overall student populations from overseas. To help counter this slide, states across the country have formed study consortia to help their respective institutions, much like Colorado's intent today is made clear, to really stand out in an ever-noisy and crowded international student recruitment arena. In Indiana, in the course of 5 years, from 2002 to 2007, our state rose from number 13 as a most popular destination for international students to crack the top 10, in large part due to the results of our Destination Indiana state consortia efforts. Now, since January 2008, when there were only 9 existing state consortia around the country, there's been a true explosion of growth of new groups that have formed, and that's one of my responsibilities with Education USA that I have the pleasure of being involved with around the country. We're now at a point now with StudyColorado joining in where there are 32 state and regional consortia around the United States that have the very distinct mission of promoting their states as destinations for international students. International students, as we all know, for colleges as well as for the U.S. government, make us a stronger nation. And a better prepared one as well. These overseas students truly enhance our campuses through their cultural, religious, and social contributions they make with our domestic students, many of whom have not yet experienced the world. And their experiences with these international students really helps better prepare them for the world they'll face after graduation. The State Department, through its Education USA network of hundreds of advising centers in 170 countries, believes these students help achieve their broader mission of promoting mutual understanding. More importantly, if these international students come to our campuses and have positive experiences, they can return after their graduation as unofficial goodwill ambassadors for our country. And in hundreds of cases over the years, these students become leaders in their own countries, which at the macro level can produce future benefits for not only our country, but also our states where they studied. From tapping into relationships beyond just boarding and internationally minded high schools that attract overseas students, partnering with community colleges to promote 2+2 programs, conducting branded recruitment travel overseas, to partnering with the international business community in the state regarding the hiring of international students after graduation. State consortia countrywide have taken a proactive stance to broaden the reach of their state's best qualities, and of course, its colleges and universities. These consortia nationwide now represent an essential next step for institutions that are hoping to become or to stay internationally competitive for students around the world. So I want to send my congratulations to Colorado for recognizing this important need and for Governor Hickenlooper's endorsing the creation of StudyColorado after so many years with this executive order today. And hopefully this will move the state forward, and I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. I'm going to suggest that folks who are interested, again, meet our students. We're going to have a reception right next door here to my left, your right, at the next room. I want to again thank Dr. Coombe and DU for hosting this. And I want to give people the opportunity, if they have any questions, to feel free to ask them. And if not, let's go get something to eat and drink, and you can ask us the questions in there informally. Thank you again for your interest, not just in this program, but in higher education in Colorado generally. Again, we know we have world-class institutions here. We know we can attract more and more students to Colorado, and we know that Colorado students and Colorado institutions will benefit. Thank you very much.